All right, today we're talking about digestion. Actually, digestion and brain fog, anxiety, depression, the brain talks to the gut talks to the brain through the vagus nerve. So when we affect either the brain or the gut, the other one's going to be affected. And guess what? Most of us have autoimmune diseases. Most of us have digestion issues. Most of us have brain fog. Why? Many things, but we are bombarded with stress. We are bombarded with toxins. So today I'm going to make you aware of the top things that we need to look at in terms of trying to be aware of what's out there. Then we need to detox. Then we need to heal. And then we need to build up the digestion, our microbiome again. So I'm going to give you a quick video, a really big overview, but it's a template to start to think about what we're doing with our digestion. So if you have gas, bloating, pain, that's a symptom that there's inflammation in the digestion. And I'm going to show you a picture of the digestion. There's a picture of our digestive system. So if you look at it, there it is. If you look at it, our digestion starts in the mouth and ends in the anus. And literally, how we chew our food, how we think about our food, starts in the mouth. So saliva starts breaking down the food, and then it goes into the stomach, and the stomach is the most acidic part in our body. And if the stomach isn't acidic enough, you're not going to break down proteins. You're not going to break down meat. So for most people, apple cider vinegar will work to help acidify the stomach. But if you're somebody who gets cold a lot, or like myself, I've always been cold. And so cold doesn't do well for me. I actually need heat, even though I've got inflammation in my body. So when we talk about the digestion, we're talking about what is affecting digestion. Stress is the number one thing that affects digestion. If you are going from meeting to meeting, if you are eating your lunch standing up, if you are skipping breakfast, if you are a woman who skips breakfast and doesn't eat till your kids come home from school, at the age of 40, you're going to have adrenal fatigue. And that's what I had. So we have to take care of ourselves, especially as women. We actually need to eat 2 and sometimes 3 times a day. Now, we don't need to eat a ton of starch and carbohydrates, but we do need some carbohydrates. Men, they need protein. Men, they need aerobics. Women, we need weight building. We need weightlifting. Okay, so there's many things that you'll hear out there, and they're geared towards men. We don't have enough studies on women. So I'm going to basically try to gear this video towards women because we're 4 times more likely to get autoimmune disease. If you've had chronic inflammation in your body, it turns into an autoimmune disease. What is that? Thyroid, hypothyroidism. All your autoimmune diseases are the body trying to heal some sort of inflammation, and now it can't, and so it gets confused and it starts attacking things like gluten, attacking proteins like peptides. So the body in this autoimmune phase, what we need is something to interrupt that pattern. We also need antioxidants and other things to heal, but I'm going to go into that. Number 1 cause of digestion problems, which number 1 cause of brain fog is digestion problems. So if we have anxiety, if we have depression, if we have panic attacks, we have to heal the gut, all right? And that's why I sent you a picture of the digestion system. Most people, we want to take out part of the digestive system. If you take out part of your colon, then you're not going to absorb enough water, you're not going to absorb the minerals, and you're not going to detox. So we would rather build up the body and try to heal and detox naturally. So that's what this is all about today. Stress is number 1, antibiotics number 2, birth control number 3, and frankly, any pharmaceutical is a man-made chemical. It's usually a single molecule that is made to block a receptor in our body or block a pathway. And as far as I know, the human body is the most complex, self-healing thing we have, and we don't even understand most of it. But the closer we get to nature, if we get out in the sunshine, that infrared is healing us. So go get an infrared sauna, go get an infrared blanket, go get an infrared device and heal your body. Go out in the sun, put your feet in the soil for 30 minutes a day. That energy from the earth feeds our body. Plant energy feeds our body, okay? When we have digestion issues, we can't eat plants because they have too much fiber. Vegetables have too much fiber. So what do we got to do? For some people, they got to go on a vegetarian diet where everything's cooked for 24 hours. Or they go on a carnivore diet, cooked for 8 hours to 24 hours. We need slow cookers. We need to break down the food, the beef, break down the vegetables into a mush. Even rice, if you break it down to a mush state, then our digestion doesn't have to work so hard to digest it, okay? If you have warm foods, our body is 96.8 degrees. If you drink cold water before you eat, not only does the body have to convert the cold water to something warm and metabolic water, but also now the body, now you've just diluted your stomach, which needs to be at a very high, a very acidic pH. So don't drink water with your food. Don't drink liquids with your food. Drink a glass of water when you wake up. If you think about it, all night long, our body is healing. Our immune system kicks in at night. So all night long, our body is healing and using up all that metabolic water. So if you drink your water in the morning, at least 2 to 3 cups or even 1 cup, you're gonna help your body out. Okay. Okay, so we've went to stress, antibiotics, birth control, pharmaceuticals, and then food, of course, sugar, refined grains. So you can have sprouted bread or even sourdough, but the rest of it, chips, forget it. You know, all of the grains that we have, cookies, bread, chips, crackers, all of those things are refined grains. Dairy, cow milk. If you think about it, a cow comes out of the womb at 200 pounds and grows to 1,000 to 2,000 pounds. Those fats and proteins we can't digest. So go get your goat milk or your goat cheese or your sheep milk or your sheep cheese. Goat milk, raw goat milk, has an amazing amount of yummy, good bacteria for our gut. Okay, so if you have to have coffee, make sure that it's mold-free. Danger Coffee is one of the best coffees out there. And then use goat milk for your cream. Okay, the other thing that is killing our digestion is toxic water. Microplastics, PFAs, it increases the gut permeability. Remember, our gut lining is 1 cell layer thick. So if we are interrupting our gut lining with toxins in the water, and glyphosate is a big one. We have glyphosate or Roundup. If you're using Roundup, if you're by some sort of a winery, say, you're getting Roundup in your water because they're using Roundup unless they're organic. So try to go organic. I know it's hard. And glyphosate, even from safe standards, now we know is affecting the gut lining. Okay. All right. Food additives, emulsifiers, preservatives, artificial colors, flavors, binders, mold. Mold and mycotoxins are huge. Not only do they affect the lungs, but they affect, again, our gut lining. And I think that's what I have. I am starting to have digestion issues, and I've been exposed to mold. I did an CEEG brain test, and again, it showed pervasive inflammation throughout the whole brain, and they actually were able to show that it's from some mycotoxin. I think it's Lyme or mold. So now I've got to go on a mold detox. Unbelievable. So if it's not one thing, it's another, right? If you have digestion issues, raw foods are bad because it's great for everybody who's healthy. But for those of us who have digestion issues, now we need something that's been cooked, that's been overcooked, that's been slow cooked for 8 hours. Give your digestion a chance to digest something very easily. So raw nuts, raw vegetables, raw fruits are no bueno, okay? So also something that's warm is easy for the digestion because we don't have to heat it up in our digestive system before we process it. So warm teas, green tea, great antioxidant, warm teas all day long. So the first 30 days we need to detox, all right? Part of detox is probiotics. Okay, we want a soil-based probiotic to help us detox. Also, that's going to help in the healing phase as well. Okay, make your own bone broth, which is hard to do. So there's bone broth out there. There's congee, which is basically anything. If you could do a gut test, take the congee. Take the meat. Some people need to do a meat diet, carnivore. Some people can do vegetables, but they have to cook the heck out of the vegetables. So that's a slow cooker for 8 hours. When we cook the heck out of our foods, it breaks down the fiber. The fiber is what is now very difficult for our digestion to handle. So for healthy people, we need fiber. We need more fiber. But for those who have digestion issues, we have to do away with the fiber until we can heal the gut lining. So eat slowly, chew, a lot, like 50 chews per mouthful. That's a lot. Nobody's going to do that. But that's really what we need to do. All right, get out into the sunshine. Take long, slow walks. Eat with your friends. Talk to people as you're eating. That's going to slow down your eating process. My mother is 90 years old and has not had issues up until the last 4 years. And before that, she ate a grapefruit every day and she poured black pepper on everything. Well, guess what? Those are two of the healthiest things you can do in the world. The third healthiest is eat slowly. My mother would take an hour to eat every meal. And she is living to be 90 and has just recently gotten issues with her digestion. She's not on one pharmaceutical, except last year we did have to put her on something for her delusions and her mental health. So even my mom has started to be affected by the toxins and the stress and everything else there is in the world. But we can heal. That's the good news. We have the most amazing healing potential in our body. And what I work with in the body is called the endocannabinoid system. That's the system that takes our thoughts and changes the physiology of the body. So Joe Dispenza is out there talking about meditating and getting into a meditative state where you can change your paradigm, you can change your perception of your disease state, of who you are. Shiloh Sophia does that with intentional creativity and painting. There are many different ways we can do it. I do it with CBD. When we change the perception of who we are, when we bring in CBD, it acknowledges and accepts and jumpstarts this system called the endocannabinoid system. Well, guess what? That endocannabinoid system is in charge of perception. So if we're going to take CBD from the hemp plant, we can actually start to meditate and start to change our perception of who we are, what boundaries we're going to keep. No, I'm not going to do that today because I don't feel like it, or because I don't like that person's energy. We have to start making boundaries. We have to start working less. And we have to start having more joy and laughter and orgasm and love and community and prayer and meditation and yoga. We've been saying it forever, but now we are at the stress level where all of these things are going to help. So go to greenalleywellness.com, give me a call, get your free consult. I'm here to help you. We'll figure out the foods that are good for you. We'll figure out how to heal. We'll figure out how to detox. And we're going to figure out how to help you thrive and have a better quality of life. Thank you so much. greenalleycbd.com, greenalleywellness.com. Thank you for listening. Take care. Have a wonderful day. And get out there in that sunshine.